Many mysterious stories were heard in the village, but the most mysterious and scary of these stories was the mystery of the skeleton. This story is about a small village, which was situated on the edge of the forest. There was an old mansion in the village, which people never saw due to fear. There were stories about the mansion that the mystery of a skeleton is hidden there, which anyone can meet in a terrible form at any time. The people of the village used to say that whoever spends the night in the mansion, some strange and terrible events happen to him. An old skeleton was lying outside the mansion, about which there were many stories. Looking at the skeleton, it seemed that it had some special significance, but people never tried to know this mystery. The youth of the village decided to visit the mansion one day. One of them was a famous writer, Arjun, who wanted to write a book, and for that he wanted to know the mystery. The other youth also agreed to him and decided that they will spend the night in the mansion and investigate the mystery. In the darkness of the night, the youth stepped towards the mansion. Dark and cold wind was coming out of the windows of the mansion. The walls of the mansion were covered with wild plants and forests. Everyone prepared their lights and torches and entered inside the mansion. As soon as they stepped inside the mansion, the youth felt a cold and strange feeling. They slowly started roaming in the rooms inside the mansion. The rooms of the mansion had old and dusty furniture. Old pictures stuck on the walls and the locks were rusted. Arjun and his team investigated the darkest corners of the mansion. In one room, they found an old book, which was very dusty and torn. There were many strange and mysterious pictures in the book. Arjun read the book carefully and found that it had written about the skeleton of the mansion. According to the book, the mansion was once home to a great king who was famous for his inhuman powers and wealth. The king had a magical skeleton, which was the source of his power. But one day, the king's enemies killed him to destroy his magical powers and hid the skeleton in the mansion. According to the story, the king's soul was trapped in the skeleton and was still present in the mansion. Arjun and his friends realized that the secret of the skeleton lay in this magical skeleton. They decided to explore the mansion deeper. As the youth explored deeper into the mansion, strange events began to occur. In the dark of the night, the doors of the mansion would close on their own, and strange sounds were heard. Sometimes, a shadow would appear in the room, which was very terrifying. Arjun and his team realized that something very strange and terrifying was going on in the mansion. One night, they saw a shadow coming out of an old room in the mansion. They headed towards that room to catch it, but the shadow suddenly disappeared. Arjun read the book again and found that the king's spirit was still trapped in the mansion and was searching for his skeleton. The book said that only a special priceless object could give peace to the king's soul. Arjun and his friends decided that they would try to give peace to the king's soul, and for that they had to find the skeleton in the mansion. They went deep into the basement of the mansion and found an old chamber. An old and dusty skeleton was kept in the chamber. As soon as they touched the skeleton, strange sounds and bright lights spread in the mansion. The king's spirit found peace and the dark and airy atmosphere of the mansion changed. As soon as the king's soul found peace, the dark and terrifying state of the mansion changed. All the horrifying activities inside the mansion suddenly stopped. The skeleton's magical powers also ended. Arjun and his team decided to give the mansion a new look and plan to make it a tourist spot. The people of the village were also happy with the transformation of the mansion and appreciated Arjun and his team. The mansion now became a historical site, and people came there to listen to the king's story and enjoy the beauty of the mansion. The mystery of the Haveli was now completely solved. Arjun and his team, with their curiosity and courage, unraveled an old mystery of the forest. They were now known as the heroes of the village. The story of the Haveli had now become an inspiration in the village, and people would come to understand its secrets and listen to their stories. Arjun wrote the entire story of the Haveli in his book and it became very famous. The mystery of the skeleton had now become a story that people would often narrate and learn from. The transformation of the Haveli and the peace of the king's soul taught everyone an important lesson that never give up the courage to solve a mystery, because this courage leads to a new beginning. If you like the story, then subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.